Hey guys, it's Coach Martinez, a PE teacher at Lively Elementary in Irving ISD. I want to talk to you really quick about FitnessGram because starting in third grade, we're going to start testing you in FitnessGram, and you pretty much test every year on from there. We learn and we practice since we were younger, but now when you're in third grade, you'll start testing. We'll test again in fourth grade, fifth grade, and so on and so on. So let's make sure that you understand the protocols for each test. The first test is testing our muscular strength and endurance. That is our push-up test. When you do the push-up test, you have to make sure that your elbows are bending down to a 90-degree angle and then pushing back up, down, up. When you do that, you have to stay with a cadence, which just means a rhythm. There will be a sound or music that goes and it'll tell you down, up, 1, down, up, 2, down, up, 3, and so on. You must stay with that cadence. You can't just go up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 and you can't go real slow. Down, up. You have to stay with the cadence. So when they say down, you go down. When they say up, you come up. And when you do go down, you lower your body into what's called a 90-degree angle. Think about it like the capital letter L. And if you took 2 L's and made your arm into the L shape, like this, that's when you're lowering. So you start in a straight position here, kind of what we would call a plank. Then you lower, you bend your elbows into a 90-degree angle. Basically like touching the tip of your nose to the ground and holding it until they say up, down, up. If you are not going down into the 90-degree angle, like if it's only like boop, 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 that's not 90 degree, that would be a mistake. It has to go all the way down to 90 degrees. So look at my elbows are like an L. And then push back up, down, up. If you're only going halfway or part of the way, that would be a mistake, and in 2 mistakes, you are out, and you would record your score from there. Notice this picture, he starts in the up position. When he goes down, his body is still straight and flat. So your back is straight, you're just lowering with your elbows, so it's just your elbows moving. You don't want your hips moving back and forth as you're pushing up and down off the ground. So it's just the elbows lower, push up, lower, push up. If your hips are moving and touching the ground, that would be a mistake. Or if you're only moving your hips and you're not moving your arms, then that would also be a mistake. Remember, 2 mistakes and then you need to stop. Or of course, if you can't go anymore, then you would end there. These are push-ups. Only your hands and toes may touch, not your hips or your legs or your heart. Push-ups. Now, another one we have is called trunk lift. Trunk lift, you lay flat on your tummy. Your hands go by your sides or by your pockets, we say. You'll put your chin on the ground and then we'll say up and you'll lift your body up. When you do that, you're lifting your heart up off the ground. There will be a coin or a dot that you're gonna look at with your eyes. So your eyes still look down. It's just your heart that's lifting up. So you're lifting your chest up. Sometimes we call these Superman exercises. But your hands go by your side, lift your chin up, and we're measuring from the bottom of your chin to the floor. So we'll have a ruler that starts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on up to 12. And then 12 is the highest that you can record. So you can't record a number higher than 12 because the ruler's not that high, and that would be, you have a lot of flexibility. This one is testing your flexibility in your back. See what kind of flexibility your bones can do in your spine. Trunk lift, laying on your stomach, hands by your side, lifting your heart up as you look at the ground. The next one is also testing your muscular strength and endurance, like push-ups, and this is testing the muscular strength and endurance in your abdominal muscles, which are your stomach muscles, right here in the middle, your core, they call it sometimes, or your abs, they call it sometimes. When you do curl-ups, they're like sit-ups pretty much, except for you put your hands to the side of you, and you're sliding your hands up and down. There's a reason that you use your hands sliding, and I'll show you that here in just a second. When you do it, make sure your back is nice and straight as you come up. Your back is straight, you're not hunching forward. So keep your back straight and you're keeping your arms and elbows straight because you're just using your fingertips to slide forward and back, forward and back. And those fingertips rub on the ground. When you're going, make sure you're not pushing down with your elbow. So if you try to sit up and then you're pushing back with your elbow, that would be a mistake because we don't use our arms or elbows for curl-ups. We're just using our hands straight. So when we slide up, we're not even touching them to the ground. Also, make sure your hands are rubbing or sliding because it shows you the distance that you need to go. Depending on your age, there's a distance that is required to go. If you're testing here with us, we have mats with the line on them, so you put your fingertips at the line when you're laying down. That way when you curl up, you'll feel the edge of the mat. You might be testing in a different situation, and so you will have to use that correct measurement. It's the start, and then when you sit up, you just go as far as the end of that measurement. When you are doing this, make sure you are not pushing with your elbows or pulling on the back of your pants. Sometimes people will try to pull themselves up. It's to see how strong your abdominal core is. You're not required to do a bunch of these. You're just trying to do them correctly and see if you meet that healthy fitness zone. Same thing on push-ups. You're not trying to do 900 push-ups. You're just trying to do the ones that you can do correctly. And depending on your age and your gender and your grade level, depends on your goal or score. So check out those standards as well, because it's not very much. It's somewhere around the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 range. So we're not trying to get you to do 50 of these. You just do as many as you can correctly, and then once you make 2 mistakes, or if you can't go anymore, then you stop right there and you record that number. These are curl-ups, testing your muscular strength and endurance and your abdominals. Then we have something called sit and reach. It's kind of just like it sounds. You sit and you put one leg out straight and the other knee is up like this. When you do that, this foot is flat on the ground here. Someone will hold your knee and your foot together. They'll hold it right there. And then you're gonna reach on top of the box or the measurement that you're using. Lively will have a box if you're on campus, stretching and touching the top. If you're in a different testing situation, you might have a different box that you're reaching with. When you do that, you're testing the leg that is straight. The leg right here that is straight, that's the one you're testing. So 2 hands together. You don't want to like one and then the other. You want those 2 hands reaching together. And when you reach, also duck your head down, put your head down, because that will help you to reach further. If I go like this, I can only reach this far, but if I duck my head, you can see I reach much further. So you get 3 tries on one leg, and then you'll switch legs. So you just go to the other leg, and there it is. You switch to the other leg, so the other knee that you just tested is up, shoe flat on the ground. So not out to the side. You don't want your knee out to the side. You want it up. So facing up towards the ceiling. And then again, someone can hold where your knee is and your foot. They'll hold it right there. And you're gonna reach with 2 hands. Reach, relax, reach, relax, reach, relax, and then switch if you haven't. That's how we'll do that test. You get 3 tries, I believe, and trying to reach as far as you can. I think your goal is somewhere around the 8 or 9 mark, depending on your gender or age and grade level, but you're not trying to like reach all the way to your toe necessarily or reach all the way out. It just, the distance that you're trying to reach is about that 8 or 9, and it's marked on the boxes that we have testing here at Lively, but you may be in a different testing situation, so reach as far as you can, right? Sit and reach. You do both your right leg and your left leg. Then we have another one called pacer test, and pacer is where you will run from one line across to the other line, and you have to wait until it beeps. When it beeps, then you run and jog back to the other side and wait again till it beeps. It's called the pacer test because it's not a sprint. You're not trying to race back and forth. You're not trying to be as fast as you can. You're trying to pace yourself out, which means start with a nice jog, stay and wait. Start with a nice jog, stay and wait. And there's a cadence that you have to stay with that, and when it beeps, that's when you run. Try to do as many as you can. The first 6 or 7 are a warm-up, and it's built in there for you, so you should be getting numbers higher than that, maybe 10, 11, 12, 13. Again, it depends on your age, gender, and your grade level. Some of you might be testing in a different situation other than the pacer test. You might be using the mile test, so simply you would just run a mile, and when you finish, you would write down the time that you finished. Okay, those are both testing your cardio respiratory endurance to see how long you can last, not to see how fast you are. So pacers start with a nice even pace, and then it gets a little faster from there, so you have to pick up the pace. That means go jog a little faster, and then not until you get to numbers like 20, 30, 40 do you start having to go really fast. When you get to like 40, 50, you're really like running. But most of the time, we're right here at the pacer starting with a nice even jog. Okay, same thing with your mile. Try to take a little jog, a little run, a little jog, a little run, walk if you need, do a quick walk, and then start back running again so you can try to get the best time for your mile. Both of those are testing your cardiorespiratory endurance. And one of our other tests is our shoulder stretch, which just like this picture looks, you take one hand and put it over like you pat yourself on the back, take the other hand and put it under. That gets a little confusing, so not to the side here, but poke it under. And then you should be reaching and touching, trying to get those fingertips to touch. You might have to wiggle them a little. Some people have to arch your back, which just means to push your heart forward, right? And push your shoulder back to try to get those to touch. Then you'll switch to the other side. So the other hand up, other hand under, shoulder stretch, and you're just trying to reach and get them to touch. The hand that is up is the one that you're testing. Okay, so when I switch, then I'm gonna test on this side with this arm up. All right? That is also testing your flexibility in the shoulders. We have another test that you do called a height and weight test, which you just measure how tall you are, and you step on a scale and measure how much you weigh, and that's to test your body composition, what you are composed of, what you're made up of, all your guts and your hair and your lungs and your liver and your muscles and your skin and everything. They're just measuring and testing how much of that you have. So that's what our body composition is. So FitnessGram is coming soon. I know there's a lot of protocols. I want you guys to go ahead and start practicing. I will put the link to this down in the comments, but also if you're here at Lively, then you have that in your Canvas already. We start testing you, writing down your score in 3rd grade, but actually you can be in any grade and still start practicing so you can get ready when you start testing in FitnessGram in 3rd grade. Let us know if you have any questions. Good luck and work hard measuring out those 5 components of fitness. Bye guys.